In the world of Demon Slayer, demons are terrifying enemies, monsters created from tragedy, obsession, and darkness. But few are as haunting, as powerful, or as tragically human as Kokushibo, the upper rank one demon of the 12 Kizuki. As the Infinity Castle arc inches closer to its animated debut, fans are bracing themselves for the arrival of this near unstoppable foe. Kokushibo is not just a demon. He's a myth in motion, part warrior, part ghost, part tragedy, and the story reveals just how far one man will go to escape insignificance. In this in-depth exploration, we'll unravel the origin, powers, and psychological complexity of Kokushibo. Let's begin. Origins of a monster. Before Kokushibo was feared across centuries, he was born a man, Michikatsu Tsugikuni, the older twin brother of Yoriichi Tsugikuni, the greatest demon slayer to ever live. From childhood, the contrast between the two brothers was stark. While Michikatsu showed talent, it was Yoriichi who was born with the demon slayer mark and the innate ability to access the transparent world. He was effortlessly extraordinary. Michikatsu, on the other hand, struggled beneath the weight of being second best. Despite his efforts and training, he could never catch up to Yoriichi. What made matters worse was that Yoriichi, the so-called cursed child, never saw praise or power. He simply existed to protect others. That quiet humility only made Michikatsu's jealousy deeper. Over time, admiration warped into obsession. He couldn't bear the idea that he would live and die in the shadow of his brother. Even after becoming a powerful swordsman and demon slayer himself, Michikatsu found no peace. The knowledge that Yoriichi would always outshine him was unbearable. Eventually, this despair led him to a decision that would change his fate forever. He abandoned humanity. Seduced by the promise of eternal life and unlimited potential, he accepted Muzan Kibutsuji's offer and transformed into a demon. Thus, Kokushibo was born. But even as a demon, he clung to the path of the sword. In fact, Kokushibo's swordsmanship only sharpened with time. Over the course of 500 years, he honed his style, eliminated countless Hashira, and rose to become Muzan's right hand, the most powerful of the 12 Kizuki. Appearance and personality. Kokushibo is unlike most demons. While many descend into madness or physical grotesquerie, he exudes a calm, cold authority. His tall, imposing frame and noble features suggest a former warrior, but what captures most attention is his face. 6 piercing eyes, each etched with the kanji for upper rank 1. These 6 eyes are not merely for show. They grant Kokushibo unparalleled perception in combat, giving him the ability to predict and respond to even the most subtle movements. Yet they are also symbolic, each one a reminder that he sees everything, perhaps too much, including his own failure to ever outgrow his brother's shadow. As a personality, Kokushibo is deeply restrained. He speaks with measured precision and rarely raises his voice. Despite his monstrous deeds, there is an eerie sense of dignity about him. He maintains the aura of a swordsman, not a bloodthirsty killer. However, beneath that discipline lies something darker. Kokushibo is driven by fear, not of death, but of mediocrity. He fears becoming forgotten, unremarkable. His allegiance to Muzan is not out of loyalty, but necessity. Without constant growth, he fears he'll be nothing. This internal dread drives his every action. A tragic rivalry. Kokushibo's character cannot be fully understood without Yoriichi. Their relationship defines him. It's not simply a case of envy, it's more complicated and more tragic. Michikatsu once loved his younger twin. As children, he carved Yoriichi a wooden flute. It was a simple, handmade gift, but to Yoriichi, it meant the world. Even into old age, Yoriichi carried it with him. Despite everything, despite their separation, despite becoming enemies, he never discarded it. After Yoriichi's death, Kokushibo retrieved the broken flute and carried it with him for centuries. He never spoke of it, never used it, but he never let it go. It became a relic of the brother he tried to surpass, a haunting emblem of a bond that time, war, and even demonhood could not erase. During his final battle, Kokushibo remembers Yoriichi, not as a rival, but as a brother. It is a moment of vulnerability, one that redefines everything we thought we knew about him. He did not simply hate Yoriichi, he loved him. And that love, twisted by jealousy and pride, became his curse. Power and abilities. As upper rank 1, Kokushibo is almost godlike in power. His centuries of combat experience and demonic enhancements make him one of the most formidable beings in the Demon Slayer universe. Unlike most demons, Kokushibo retains full mastery of total concentration breathing, particularly his unique variation, moon breathing. This style, descended from Yoriichi's sun breathing, consists of chaotic, crescent-shaped slashes that blend elegance with brutality. He has awakened the Demon Slayer mark, a rare ability that enhances physical capabilities, stamina, and regeneration. On top of that, he can manipulate his flesh into creating a unique multi-bladed katana, essentially an extension of his body, indestructible and flexible. One of his most dangerous abilities is access to the transparent world. This rare talent allows him to see the internal organs, muscle fibers, and movements of opponents in real time, predicting their actions before they even begin. This, combined with his 6 eyes and unparalleled speed, makes him nearly untouchable. Even among demons, Kokushibo stands apart. His stamina is limitless, his precision absolute, and his willpower terrifying. In battle, he is less a man than a natural disaster, an inescapable force. Kokushibo versus the Hashira. Kokushibo's greatest battle, and ultimately his last, occurs in the Infinity Castle arc. There, he faces 4 powerful opponents: Yuichiro Tokido, Sanemi Shinazugawa, Jomei Himejima, and Jinya Shinazugawa. Each of these fighters brings something to the table. Yuichiro, a Miss Hashira with prodigious skill, is cut down early, despite unlocking the Demon Slayer mark. Jinya, with his unique ability to absorb demon traits, also plays a crucial support role, but is quickly overwhelmed. The real challenge comes from Sanemi and Jioni. Both are marked Hashira, wielding bright red Nichiren blades, which can nullify a demon's regeneration. The fight pushes them beyond their limits. They injure Kokushibo repeatedly, wounds that would be fatal to any other demon. But Kokushibo transcends even death. At one point, he is decapitated, and still regenerates his head through sheer willpower. In doing so, he transforms into a grotesque horned final form, monstrous and barely human. In this state, he is terrifying beyond imagination. The battle rages on, brutal and exhausting. In the end, it is not strength alone that defeats him, it is Kokushibo's own realization of what he's become that breaks his spirit. A hollow legacy. As his body begins to disintegrate, Kokushibo reflects on his life. He sees himself not as a victor, not even as a warrior, but as a failure. He sacrificed everything, his humanity, his family, his legacy, in a desperate attempt to outshine his brother. But Yoriichi had already surpassed him, not through power, but through peace. Yoriichi lived with humility and died without regret. Kokushibo, in contrast, lived for ambition and died hollow. In his final moments, he weeps. He clutches the old flute, the same one he carved as a child, and breaks down. His last words echo through the void. Why was I even born? It's not a question of despair, but of reflection. A man who once reached for the heavens now wonders if he ever truly left the ground. Kokushibo's true tragedy. Kokushibo is one of Demon Slayer's most complex characters. He's a villain, yes, but also a symbol. He represents the cost of ambition, the pain of comparison, and the tragedy of a life spent running from shadows. Unlike many demons who embrace their monstrous sides, Kokushibo retains a sliver of humanity until the very end. And in that sliver we see a mirror, a reminder of how fragile greatness can be and how devastating it is to lose sight of what matters most. He wasn't just a demon, he was a broken man. If this deep dive into Kokushibo's life and legacy intrigued you, stay tuned for part 2, where we'll break down his fighting style, explore the symbolism in his moon breathing techniques, and analyze how the Hashira adapted in their legendary battle. Until next time, stay strong, stay sharp, and keep breathing.